Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Girl MF, Michael Fletcher, alongside Anthony Florio, and it will just be us two tonight. Michael Bullock and a lot of members of our guys' night or our group outings is currently at URI right now, as they just lit the torch a few hours ago to kick off the Special Olympics Summer Games. And this is one of the biggest events of the year for our guys. So um our thoughts and our best wishes with everybody involved in Special Olympics Rhode Island, and we wish you guys the best of luck in what's going to be a wild weekend, to say the very least. They did some of the competitions earlier this afternoon. There will be a lot of competitions throughout the weekend. Some will be at URI, and then I do believe Sunday they do go to a different location. I don't know why. We never really got a reason why they had to move it out of URI, but it is going to be held in another location. That will be the Sunday competitions, but the Saturday competitions will be on the campus of URI. Go out there, cheer for these athletes. They really deserve the love and the support. Go out of your way, go down to URI on Saturday and root for these amazing athletes and these unbelievable individuals. Anthony Floyo, I know you would also like to send your best wishes to many of our Special Olympians that are about to be competing. Some, like I said, some of them competed today. A lot of them will be competing tomorrow and Sunday.
Yes, MF, and thank you very much for the time here. I would like to send out my best wishes and send out all of my love and blessings to our own Michael Bullock, for one, as well as our other dear friends, in no particular order: Brian Keenan, Heather Virostic, Ryan Avedisian, and Sarah Brulette, Jasmine Gillette, and Kevin Dexter, and the rest of all of our dear friends in our group. We, on behalf of MF and all of us here, we would like to wish you all the best of luck during these during this very exciting time of the year, the State Summer Games. Go out there, do what you all do best. You know, Brian Keenan, our dear friend, had his motto is he has a motto. They have a motto. I don't think it's just him. I think it's the Special Olympics motto. And if I remember it correctly, I do believe it's please let us win, but if we cannot win, then let us be brave in the attempt. So that's the motto of the Special Olympics, and I wish you all nothing but the best of luck. And speaking of our dear friends, some great news out that came out. Our dear friend Mike Keenan is finally back home where he belongs. Oh man, I talked to him earlier via video chat, Facebook Messenger video chat, and I can't tell you how happy I was to see him back home where he belongs. And this show is not only for him, but this show tonight is for all of our dear friends in our group that are taking part in the Special Olympics State Summer Games 2025. So best of luck to each and every one of you. Do what you all do best. Go out there, give it your all. Do your best, but if you can't win, at least be brave in the attempt, like the motto says. So we love you. We're thinking of you. We may not be, MF and I may not be there with you in person, but you can rest assured we are all there with you in spirit. Yeet.
Well said, my friend. And with that, we will always do what we've always been doing. And I know The Keenans love when we do this. Michael Bullock has been a focal part of this, and I know many people of the Special Olympics community also loved our job when we do is bring you professional wrestling as we always do. Here we go, guys. It's time for TNA Impact. And can you believe it? It's show number 1088 for the TNA Impact. This is during the Access TV era. I don't know if this is all together. I don't believe so, but still, we started off with.
It started on a little network called FSN. We all remember that. I mean, Impact started FSN right around 2000, right around summer of 2004, I think, and went to Spike TV. It's been on Destination America and Pop TV Guide, Pop channel.
Yeah.
Don't ask. And of course, its current home, Access TV, which I think Access TV has done wonders for that show. And
I know they've been talking about possibly trying to leave Access for a bigger network, but as of now, we haven't heard anything about it. And a lot of reasons why we've been hearing this is because of the involvement with WWE. And it seems like WWE is also trying to help Access get TNA to a bigger network or a bigger audience. What does that mean? I guess we'll wait and find out down the line. But yeah, so let's just dive right on in. First thing we had was a 8-man. Well, it was a 14. It sounds like it's a 4-team fatal 4-way, 4-team number one contenders for the World Tag Team Championships. We had was the Rascals. We had First Class. We had the Systems, and we had Laredo.
Laredo. That's Laredo kid.
So when it was all said and done, the winner of the bout in 9 minutes and 12 seconds, the new number one contenders for the TNA World Tag Team Championships are indeed Trey Miguel, Zachary Wentz. It is the Rascals. They win it all. And it was a solid opener, a 3-star bout, solid matchup. Look, the right team went over. Look, the System has had a number of opportunities. First Class, they're not there yet. The Rascals are the ones that needs to be the right team, and this is the right crew to have them go after the Nemets for the World Tag Team Championships. I believe this is, without a doubt, the best pull that they could have done. And Anthony, you know what happens when the Rascals win? Shenanigans in the treehouse. You know what that means.
Oh boy. Yep.
But
I do
anyway, 9-12, the Rascals wins it. It's all yours, kid.
I have 1244 on my note sheet here. So,
I got 9-12 on mine.
Conflicting sheets here. So
yeah.
But anyways, I'm gonna give this 3.25 to 3.5 stars. This was a match that had to happen as they only had so much time to get challengers ready for Against All Odds. And the move makes as much sense as anything else, as the Rascals are an established team and want a fast-paced match to get the title shot. As usual, it's a good choice for an opener, and it went well. I brought up Against All Odds because next week, of course, we've got another loaded weekend of professional wrestling coming at you next week. Oh, you thought last week was loaded? Oh, this is just as loaded. Against All Odds, TNA Plus app next week, next Friday night, June 6th. And then, of course, the next night, oh my gosh, I mean, the Worlds Collide and the Money in the Bank. Oof, man alive. But yeah, 3.25, 3.5. And I did some digging into the Impact archive, and it started on FSN, Fox Sports Net, June 4th of 2004 to May 27th of 2005. It went away for a month, and then it came back on a network called Urban America Television Webcast Syndication, June 24th through September the 16th of 2005. And then the big move to Spike TV, October the 1st of 2005, all the way to Christmas Eve Day, 2014. And then for pretty much the entirety of 2015, it was on Destination America. And then they got to Pop. They were on the Pop channel. That was formerly the TV Guide channel for exactly 3 years, January of 16 to January of 19. And then I forgot there was one other channel I missed, and when it was on the Pursuit channel and also on Twitch, January 11th to October 18th of 2019. And it has been ever since October 29th of 2019 that Impact has been on Access TV, and of course it's also on the TNA Plus app as well, so you can check it out there. So that's the story when it comes to the history of TNA Impact over 1,088 episodes. That is mind-boggling. I didn't even know they did that many. My gosh, but I didn't even keep count. But
well, thank you. Well, thank you to ProWrestling.net. They're the ones that actually posted the total amount of shows that they have done. I just thought that was just on Access alone, but if that's all together, 1,088 shows, well done, guys. And remember, this is over, I want to say,
years.
over a 20,
21.
Over a 21-year period. Well done.
It premiered, the 21st anniversary is actually coming up. It's actually coming up this Wednesday, because it started on June the 4th. The very first Impact was on the 4th of June, 2004, on the old FSN, Fox Sports Net. So,
yeah.
So all those networks and I believe the Access TV era is now the second longest era of Impact. They still have a few years to go to catch up to the Spike TV era when it was on for over 11 years or 13 years. So we're just about 6 now. We're approaching 6. It'll be 6 in October. So, but great work all around, from all the talents to all the men and women who put it together. Just amazing. So,
yeah.
But getting back to this, 3.25 to 3.5 stars is the correct rating for this match. And Rascals versus Nemitz against all odds, TNA Plus. And I know we normally don't make too much value over TNA Plus specials, but this one is shaping up to be pretty good. And what I think we'll definitely do a quick little rundown Tuesday night on Ridiculously Raw. So, but anywho, it's 3.25, 3.5. So Nemitz and Rascals for the tag titles. Yeah, that's going to be good. So
yeah,
much more to say.
So,
let's continue on here.
All right, next match. Unfortunately, it's going to be a cutout. Mustafa Ali versus Raj Singh. It was Mustafa Ali in 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Simple victory for him. So we're just going to move right on along. After that, then we had Ash by Elegance versus Lee Yi Lee, and it was Lee winning the match in 6 minutes and 49 seconds. Anthony, big win for Lee. She took down one half of the women's tag team champions in Ash by Elegance.
Indeed, she did. And on my sheet, I have 557, but still, either way you slice it, it's a 2.5 star match. This was a way to give Lee a quick win, and that's all it needed to be. She might be in line for a title shot sooner than later, perhaps as soon as Against All Odds. So giving her a fast win makes sense, and Lee is mainly there to do her kicks, but she does them rather convincingly most of the time. And then post-match, the Knockouts champion Masha Slamovich comes in and said that she will see Lei Ying Lee at Against All Odds. So, against all odds, it will be Masha Slamovich versus Lei Ying Lee for the Knockouts Championship. Ooh, that's another goodie. So, and you know what I always say? When you get two powerful women like that, it's going to be a one-man fight. No doubt.
Yep, no doubt.
2.5 stars. And MF, your thoughts? Lei Ying Lee gets the next shot at Masha Slamovich in that Knockouts title.
Yeah, no, this is gonna be a solid matchup. I think it's gonna be very good to see how that plays out. Really nothing more to say. So we're just gonna move on along. We did have a big promo done by the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion Trick Williams. We'll get into that at another date. Because we got so much, we really got not that much time to cover here. Malice Warner versus Bryce Henson. Malice wins it in 2 minutes and 41 seconds. We can just bypass that one. Yep. Then after that, we had was a huge mixed tag team matchup. It was Santino Marella and his daughter, Ariana Grace. They went up against Mr. Robert Stone and Victoria Crawford, along with Tessa Blanchard in their corner. And two big notes here. Jimmy Corderas was the special guest referee, and Alicia Edwards was the special enforcer. But when it was all said and done, the winners of the bout in 6 minutes and 32 seconds, Mr. Robert Stone and Victoria Crawford getting the victory in this matchup. Okay. It was a little kiddie comedy. There was a lot of it. I'm not going to deny it. It worked in certain areas and it didn't work in others. I wish the match could have been better. More than anything else. However, the outcome, I believe, was never in doubt. As a matter of fact, you got this little thing of a power struggle right now between Santino and Robert Stone. And it's working. You know, yes, it's to the point where who knows how this plays out down the line. If Ava needs to get in and reel in Robert Stone on this one, we don't know. But this was a fine matchup. This is about maybe 1.5 to 2. I'm going to be generous with it. I didn't really see anything amazing in this matchup. Anthony, 6:32 is my clock for this matchup, so it's yours.
For the first time tonight, we have the same time. I have 6:32 also. So, the match was kind of a mess with so much going on, but that is probably a lot better than having them work a straight match. At the same time, this is still one of the worst stories going today, as the Battling Bosses is only so good on its best day. When you have it with these guys, it's leaving quite a bit to be desired. And I could only give this 2.5 stars, but here's the thing, though. Few things here. Tessa Blanchard was initially supposed to be in this match, but for some odd reason, Robert Stone pulled her out and put Victoria Crawford in. Not sure what the reasoning for that was, but
probably to protect her because of the fact that they might want to do Ariana versus Tessa sometime down. Well, they already did the match, I think. Tessa versus Ariana, and I think Tessa won easy.
Well, according to my notes here, it said that Tessa Blanchard was injured. Okay, so didn't know that, but a lot of things here. Robert Stone said there were some special stipulations. The match could not go over 10 minutes. Alicia Edwards was the special enforcer, and the Cobra and Santino's Cobra was banned. And of course, a special guest referee, one of the greatest referees of all time, Mr. Jim Corderas. You remember him from WWE? I mean, where he was a mainstay. He started with them in the 80s, and then he disappeared for a few years, but then they brought him back in the late 90s. He came back and served as one of the prominent referees in WWE, and including getting to be the initial referee for the Edge versus Undertaker World Heavyweight Championship match at WrestleMania 24, which was the main event. He refereed a WrestleMania main event, so he's got that to his credit. So great to see him back. Of course, he's a well-known podcaster. He has a great podcast in the community, and so it's great to see him. And another thing here, Santina Marella and Ariana Grace making history as the first ever father-daughter tag team in the history of professional wrestling. Never been done before. They did it last night. So, of course, we can't discount what Rey and Dominic Mysterio did, you know, the history they made as that father-son tag team, including being the first ever father-son tag team champions. We go from father-son to father-daughter tag team. That's awesome. So, very nice to see. No question about that. And the big caveat, against all odds, next week, it will be Santino Marella versus Robert Stone. And whoever wins that match will be the director of authority for TNA wrestling.
Oof, that's huge.
And that's why I said that this, like I said, normally we usually don't go all valley-hoo about TNA Plus events, but I think this one is one of the exceptions here.
Yeah, because that's very high stakes. If you become the authority in TNA, that's basically you literally become that's like being the general manager for any show. You're the main, individual that you run the company on. So yeah, huge matchup, huge implications in that one. And then it leads us to the main event of the evening, Anthony. I totally agree with your rating, by the way. It's for the international championship. Steve Macklin versus Matt Cardona, winner of the bout in 11 minutes and 20 seconds, and still the international champion, Steve Macklin, the walking weapon, Steve Macklin. Anthony, it is yours.
The walking weapon is Josh Alexander.
That's Josh Alexander. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, Josh Alexander, of course, now a part of that company in Jacksonville, Florida nowadays. But anyways, I forgot. I'm trying to remember what his name is. I know he's got a big moniker, Steve Macklin, but differing sheet here. I have 1551. Therefore, this was the fight of the night. This is about 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. They got going a bit near the end here, which is a good addition to a match which seemed designed to give Macklin a nice win. Matt Cardona is a name with some value, and it worked with a one-off match. Good stuff for a main event here, though we will get to Macklin's next real challenger soon enough. So 3.5, 3 3/4 of a star, and Mep, it's yours.
3.5, no doubts, total agreement. They hit this one out of the park. This was an excellent show. And it was fine for what it was worth. Main event or overall review, not bad. I'll say about maybe 7, and I'm going to be generous with that. Could have been better, but there was only 2 short fights, and some of the action was pretty good. So they started it off with a banger with a really good multi-man tag team #1 contenders fight, and then of course the main event itself was a solid matchup with Macklin versus Cardona. So in the middle was a little shaky, to say the very least. But all in all, not bad. 7 out of 10. Anthony, go.
I'm actually going to be a little more generous. I'm going to give it 7.5 out of 10. This was an interesting show as they barely touched Under Siege, which makes sense. Instead, focusing on building Against All Odds. That's what they had to do given the short turnaround time. And we already have some title matches set up. If nothing else, the show is already looking better than Under Siege, though. That's only covering so much ground in the first place. And on the card for Against All Odds, I mean, a couple of other things came up. I mean, we already got the Nemets versus the Rascals for the tag team titles. We got Masha Slamovich and Lei Ying Lee for the Knockouts Championship. Santino Marella versus Robert Stone, where the winner will be the Director of Authority for TNA Wrestling. And 3 new matches were added. Joe Hendry's going to go one-on-one with Frankie Kazarian. Steve Macklin will defend the International Championship against Mance Warner. And Elijah is going to be the next challenger for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. He will challenge either Trick Williams or Mike Santana next week. Because remember, Tuesday night on NXT, it will be Trick Williams versus Mike Santana for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. And the winner of that match will defend the title against Elijah next Friday night at Against All Odds. So 7.5 out of 10. So with that, MF, let's move on to Friday Night Smackdown.
We were in Knoxville, Tennessee, in the University of Tennessee, the home of the Volunteers. And we started off obviously with Bianca Belair, hometown girl, as she cut a promo interrupted by Naomi, and it led to the first bout of the night, a women's Money in the Bank qualifier, as it was Naomi, Jade Cargill, and Nia Jax in the matchup. Winner of the bout in 12 minutes and 20 seconds was Naomi. Naomi is going to Money in the Bank. You know what? I'm going to say it. I was a little surprised. I really thought they were going to put Jade Cargill here. I'm not overly surprised because Naomi's body of work, and especially her heel turn, has been so good lately. And a lot of people have been praising her heel turn. Some even say they would like to see her win the Money in the Bank and have the briefcase and cash that in anytime, any place, anywhere up to 1 year. So put her name in the list of who's already there when you got Julia, you got Alexa Bliss, you got Roxanne Perez, you now have Mommy, Rhea Ripley. Naomi now gets in here. There is only one spot left. And guess what, folks? Monday night Raw. And we have the final matchup, as it will be. I believe it's Ivy Nile, Liv Morgan, and the newest member of the Monday Night Raw roster, La Primera, the former NXT Women's and North American Champion, the Dark Angel, Stephanie Booker, is coming to Monday nights. Oh, baby. As Duke Tango would say from and one. Yo, Anthony, let's talk about Naomi going to Money in the Bank, and then go ahead. You go as poetic about that final Money in the Bank ladder match for the women.
Oh, absolutely. All right, first things first. The EST's promo segment was a good way to kick off the show in our hometown of Knoxville, and it made sense to flow into the Money in the Bank qualifying match. The bout itself was relatively uneventful, but had a couple of fun spots. In the end, Naomi scored the win by pinning Nia Jax to earn her spot in the Money in the Bank match. Bianca Belair, you notice, had 2 fingers in a splint, so she is still nursing a bit of an injury. And Naomi is a veteran. Trying to pin someone who is basically under the bottom rope is something she should not be trying at this stage in her career. I could give this about 3.25 to 3.5 stars for the effort for the match. Right outcome. Naomi deserved to win the match, and we're looking at a loaded field when it comes to this women's Money in the Bank ladder match. You mentioned all the names, and then you're going to add. Now, I'll say it like this. It's not going to be Ivy Nile.
No.
It's not going to be Ivy on Monday. You can forget about that. That leaves either Liv Morgan or Stephanie Vacour. If I'm going to be honest with you, I think Stephanie's going to win it. I got to go with Stephanie Vacour on this one. I mean, we all know how high they are on her, number one.
And plus, if they want to play off the narrative of the Liv Morgan having the problems with the Judgment Day,
exactly,
maybe a miscommunicata causes Liv to lose it. Yeah. I mean, it did cost her this past week, last week, I should say.
That's right.
Oh,
this past Monday night on Raw, we saw it. Liv Morgan was defeated by Kairi Sane because of the bickering between Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. So Liv took her eye off the ball, and it cost her dearly. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get any more of that. And if you add Stephanie Vacour to this match, we could be looking at an all-timer when it comes to the women's Money in the Bank ladder match.
Oh, yeah.
We're looking at an all-timer here. And if you add Stephanie to this match, Stephanie and Julia in a WWE ring on the main roster.
There's some rivalries already that would be reignited because remember, Stephanie had a rivalry with Roxanne Perez. Stephanie has a rivalry with Julia, well documented. Because not only does it document from WWE NXT, but also remember in Japan from Marigold, they had a little bit of a tiff before they both came. So, oh yeah, and in CMLL, when Julia went to Mexico, they had a little bit of a rivalry there too. So their rivalry is well known between the Beautiful Madness and the Dark Angel.
Yes, and I know you're over the moon about having Julia on SmackDown MF. I mean, I know that had to have been a stunner to hear when you dropped that video of Adam Pearce making the official announcement of Stephanie Vacour on Monday Night Raw. Oh, and I'm going to tell you what. It's a 2-horse race for a female wrestler of the year. It's between Stephanie Vacour and Io Sky for me right now.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 best women in wrestling right now.
I would say right now, I would probably say I would give the edge to Stephanie. Just a slight edge.
Yeah.
But Io is right there. And especially after she successfully defended the title at WrestleMania, that really put her in a prime spot to be Female Wrestler of the Year, in my opinion.
Not only successfully defend the title at WrestleMania, but doing so in what is right now the women's wrestling match of 2025 so far. The best match on the women's side.
Mm-hmm.
But this Money in the Bank is sure as hell going to give it a run for its money. You add Stephanie to this already loaded field, it's over. It's over. That's it. So, and then we'll only have a week to think about it. We preview it next week. So, man, but I don't know. But I'm very happy. I'm very pleased to have Stephanie Vacour on Monday Night Raw. I know deep down it eats at UMF because we all know how much you love her, and I don't blame you. You're not the only one who feels that way. I mean, A lot of men in this world feel the same way you do, including myself and a lot of content creators here on YouTube and in the IWC. So, but anywho, I know you were like, man, I wish I could have had her on SmackDown. There's a part of me that kind of wanted to have Julia on Raw because I've taken a liking to Julia. So, but hey, you've got Julia, I've got Stephanie. So, am I going to complain about that? Hell no. So, can you imagine the shot in the arm for the women's division of Monday Night Raw with her on that show now? Oh, that women's world title picture, man alive. But 3 1/4, 3.5, outcome correct, and I can't wait for Monday night. So there isn't much more to say. Let's move on.
Yeah, so here we go. Next up on this big show, next up on this show, I should say, we had. Hold on. Yeah, got it. Well, yeah. Casey Monto versus R-Truth. Yeah, JC wins it in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Yeah, it is a virtual cutout. Jeff Cobb, folks, welcome to his nightmare. So,
Matanza Cueto.
Yeah. So, there's really nothing more to say on that one. Next up, well, this one was a really good one.
Oh, yeah.
Javon Evans from NXT and Rey Fenix versus Los Garza. Angel Humberto, of course, with Santos Escobar from Legado de Fantasma. And it was Los Garza winning the match in 13 minutes even. Anthony, you could probably consider this somewhat of a minor upset, but yeah, there was a little bit of a chicanery at the end.
That's because we had a special guest on commentary, the brand new NXT North American champion, All Ego Ethan Page. He sat in with Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett. But before that, we had what is known in wrestling as a revolving door promo segment with the WWE Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. They gave a quick promo about leading the charge for the SmackDown Tag Team division, but they were interrupted by Fraxium, the Motor City Machine Guns, DIY, and Candice LeRae, and the Wyatt Six, and one of the only tag teams that did not get taken out by the Wyatts was in action when Angel Humberto took on Javon Evans of NXT and Rey Fenix. All four of these men will be at the Worlds Collide. We'll get to that. We'll get to the logistics in just a moment. 3.5 stars for the match. This is a fun, high-flying encounter. Angel, Humberto, and Rey Fenix were all great, but Javon Evans may have made the biggest impact with his first match on the main roster. Anyone who does not watch NXT probably came away from this impressed with the young OG. Ethan Page ended up interfering while the referee was distracted 2 different times to cost Rey Fenix and Javon Evans the match. As I mentioned, Ethan Page was on commentary. Penta and Rey Fenix are teaming up with everyone except each other. Humberto hit a beautiful springboard crossbody. It was so simple, but the way he floated through the air was perfect. And Rey Fenix almost messed up a Hurricanrana, but they made it work. Of course, we all know next week it will be Worlds Collide as part of that loaded weekend in professional wrestling. And look at this. I mean, right now, you're going to see all 3 members of Legado del Fantasma, Santos, Escobar, Angel, and Humberto. And they're going to go up against 3 men that, of course, MF pretty much knows almost the entire roster like the back of his hand. And they're going to go up against El Hijo, D. Dr. Wagner Jr., Pagano, and Psycho Clown?
Okay. Pagano is a big name. Psycho Clown is a former AAA Mega Copion. And El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. is one of the you can say he's one of the brightest young new talents in AAA. So his father, Dr. Wagner Jr., is by far was one of the biggest names in AAA. Was a multi-time Mega Campeon and also a multi-time Latin American champion in AAA. I mean, he was one of the biggest names for I want to say for at least 10 years. He was like one of the big thoroughbreds in AAA, alongside many different names in professional wrestling in Mexico. This was during the Judas Macias era. This was during the Cibernetico era. This was during when La Parca was a huge name, and Dr. Wagner was actually the catalyst. He was by far, you could say, he was kind of in that mold of the Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Triple H, Undertaker. He's that big of a name in Mexican wrestling. He was at the time when he was in there, he was the star of all stars. And Psycho Clown became that too, along with along with his buddies, the Psycho Circus, which was they are the equivalent of the New Day. That's all you need to know. They are the equivalent of the Mexican New Day. They were,
Amazing.
Multi-time tag team champions. They were the biggest names in AAA. And then Psycho Clown went on his own. He broke from his brothers to try to go on his own and has been a two-time Mega Campeon. And he has been in many big matches, hair versus match, whatever you want to call it. And as a matter of fact, Psycho Clown has actually main evented the last 3 Triple Manias.
Oh, wow.
That big of a name. He's that big. He's main evented the last 3 Triple Manias. So, and then Pagano, and then Pagano, without a doubt, he's like one of the workhorses of AAA. You know, the championships, not many. However, this guy is without a doubt brute strength, power, force. You want to be entertained, you're going to be entertained. And for La Legado del Fantasma, boys, you better be ready for a fight next Saturday, because that's exactly what you guys are going to be getting. You got brute strength and power of Pagano, the high flying of Psycho Clown, and then the versatility of El Hijo de Dr. Wagner. My goodness, man, this is gonna be a jump off, to say the very least, when we get into the Kia Forum next Saturday for that big event. So
and on top of that, we've got Ethan Page defending the NXT North American Championship versus Javon Evans versus Ray Phoenix and versus the Laredo Kid.
And Anthony, you know the Laredo Kid. You've seen him. He actually was on Lucha Underground. He's one of those.
In TNA.
And also in TNA. So, I mean, Laredo Kid's self-explanatory. Ray Phoenix, you already know what he brings to the table, folks. I mean, he's excitement beyond belief. And then the young OG, Javon Evans, man. I'm so happy he got the rub and was able to perform here on SmackDown. You know what? I could see him performing more on the Blue brand on a more regular basis if he played like this. I'm totally down to see the young OG in SmackDown Blue. I can see it.
Positively. And on top of that, you got Chad Gable going up against El Hijo del Velkingo. Come on. I mean, there's your banger of the night right there. I mean, those two are going to steal the damn show.
And oh, by the way, I want to let you guys also know something. WWE did a Dipsy Do Botcheroo. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to let it out. The Mega Copion will be on the line. The AAA Mega Copion will be on the line. They just posted it because word got out that this Saturday they're going to do a taping where it's going to be El Hijo de Vecino versus Alberto El Patron for the Mega Copion, and rumors are swirling that El Hijo de Vecino is going to win the belt back. And at Worlds Collide, it will be El Hijo de Vecino versus Chad Gable. However, what I've been told is that it will not be Chad Gable. It'll be El Grande Americano.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
And AAA's been so high that they wanted El Grande Americano. I can actually see El Grande Americano become the new Mega Copion.
On top of Trick Williams winning the TNA Heavyweight Championship?
Yes.
Oh, another bomb.
I can actually see it. I think this is where this could be where they go, because right after that in August, it's AAA's biggest event of the year, Triple Mania from the CDMX in Mexico City, Mexico, and they've already said that they've been talking about putting El Grande Americano on that show, that they want him to be a part of that event. And this is AAA asking WWE to bring El Grande Americano over. This isn't the other way around. This was AAA. This was Dorian Rodan and his people telling Triple H, we want El Grande Americano to be a part of our show. We want him. Triple H is probably thinking, you know what? Great. I'm more than good with letting him be a part of the show. I'm telling you, do you know what the ramifications would be if El Grande Americano becomes the AAA Mega Copion?
Oh.
It's going to be nuts.
Oh.
It will be insane, the reaction that's going to trigger. Because, look, I'm not going to get political, but I think we can agree. Right now, the United States and Mexico has a little bit of a frosty relationship. Just putting it out there. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to say anything. But there is a little bit of a frosty relationship between the U.S. and Mexico. There is. Man. Imagine if El Grande Americano, an American, wins the Mexican World Heavyweight title.
Oh, man.
It will create a dynamic that is insane.
Positive.
And as a matter of fact, the last time we had an American as the AAA World Champion was actually Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, that's right.
Jeff Jarrett won the world title, and it triggered such a firestorm in Mexico. Like, it was bad. It was bad. So,
and then to round it out, Stephanie Vacour and Lola Vice will be teaming up against Cheek Tormenta and Dalise.
yes.
You know that's coming. And just added today, Dragon Lee, Cruz del Toro, and Joaquin Wilde of the LWO, they're going to be squaring off against Mr. Iguana, Aerostar, and Octagon Jr.
Oh, my God.
How's that sound?
Oh, that's a great match. That's an incredible match. Oh, my God. You got to be kidding me. That could cook. That could be a sleeper fight of the night.
This
That
whole
that
show's gonna
6-man
come.
tag could be a sleeper fight of the night.
I may not follow AAA as religiously as you do, MF, but Worlds Collide. Oh, you best believe I am tuning into this.
I will be on commentary for Worlds Collide. I don't know who's my number 2 for that event. I do know Anthony and Michael Bullock, they'll be covering the Money in the Bank show because, due to my commitments beyond my control, most likely will not be able to watch it, but still. But yeah, so we're ready. This is going to be nuts. So, all right.
Man.
So let's move right on along. We took a little too much time there. I wanted it to take. But next up, we had was Zelina Vega versus Alba Fire. Non-title match. Zelina Vega winning the match in 11 minutes and 15 seconds. And Anthony, this actually does go to you.
While this match didn't have any notably bad moments, it also didn't have anything that felt spontaneous or surprising. Just about every move and story beat could be predicted as the match progressed because they followed such a familiar pattern. This is about 3 to 3.25 on the effort. Chelsea Green was doing a great job playing up her injury. And Alba Fire, she has adjusted well to this new character. It felt so random when she was paired with Chelsea Green, but it has been working. It's been working. Even though we, MF, you and I, we would prefer to see the old KLR. We want to see the scary Queen of Scots back. So because you know that baby girl again, like the back of your hand. You know her. You followed her career from day one. So
yeah,
but anyways, 3 to 3.25 for the effort. So no big surprise with Zelina winning. She keeps on rolling, and then there was a backstage moment with her and Julia. You don't want Julia's. You don't cross her path, honey. Don't cross her path.
Yeah, I hate to say this. If it's Julia versus Zelina, we might have a new champion.
I believe it.
We might have a new champion. I'm a little about that one, but we'll see. So next up, yeah, and 3.25, 3.5. You're absolutely right. Next up, we had with a Money in the Bank ladder match, qualifier, Jacob Fatu, Andrade, and Carmelo Hayes. Winner of the bout, 20 minutes and 25 seconds was Andrade. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm excited that Andrade gets into Money in the Bank. You already know the body of work of Andrade. You know he's going to bring it. It's going to be a great moment for him. But I know a lot of people are mad because they're like, why the hell did you do that to Jacob? No. It's fine. Jacob, with everything that's been going on, that's going to lead to a little bit of a war. With Solo, with Jacob, with JC, there's a little bit of some things going on. Plus, Jacob's seen already the United States heavyweight champion. He doesn't need the Money in the Bank. He doesn't need it. Carmelo, same thing. He just won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. He's fine. He can always get the last luck loser to get another opportunity if he needed it. Andrade he didn't have nothing going on. He needed to be added to this match because right now Andrade is lost in the shuffle. We don't know what's his look, what's his thing, what his opportunity. And I'm so glad Triple H and the creative has not given up on El Idolo because trust me, man, he was exciting when he came back. We were thinking some big stuff, and it never happened. He had that one bright spot at WrestleMania in Philadelphia about a year ago when he got to partner up in that tag team fight, and he really hasn't had a signature moment until now. And I'm so glad that Andrade is now in the Money in the Bank. And look at the men's lineup coming in, Anthony. It is getting stronger by the minute. And to add Andrade to that list, oh, this is gonna be good. This is getting good.
And wait till you hear what the last qualifier is going to be on Monday night. Wait till you
Oh
hear this
yeah.
if you haven't already heard it. But anyways, before this match, Damian Priest came out and talked about beating Drew McIntyre at Saturday night's main event and moving on. And he addressed Jacob Fatu and said he is proud of what he has accomplished, but he does not respect who he hangs out with. And as he was leaving, Jacob Fatu came out for the qualifier against Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. And The Miz still accompanied Hayes to the ring, even though they appeared to have some friction during a backstage segment. But we have seen Mello and El Idolo tear the house down several times, and Jacob Fatu's ability is no secret. So these three managed to put on the fight of the night by a wide margin. Jacob Fatu was playing to the crowd quite a bit, so he felt like more of a babyface here than he has in any previous match. Fatu took himself out for several minutes by crashing through the barricades, so Mello and Andrade were free to reignite their feud. And Solo Sikoa and JC Mateo came down once Jacob was back in the fight. Jimmy Uso showed up, took out JC Mateo. During the mayhem, Andrade was able to pin Mello for the win, and Fatu clearly blamed Solo for his loss. Fatu dragging The Miz into the ring when he tried to trip him was hilarious, and Fatu had the crowd in the palm of his hand before he put himself through the barricade. 4 to 4.25 stars, easily the fight of the night on this one. And I'm going to be honest with you. There was a part of me that thought Jacob Fatu was going to win this and have a dynamic with him and Solo there, but no, that didn't happen. And I'll tell you what, MF, I'm going to be honest with you. I told Bullock this during a show where it was where we were doing the show and you were out. I told him that I wasn't really feeling the men's Money in the Bank ladder match at first. When you had Solo Sikoa and LA Knight as the first two guys, I was thinking, I'm not really feeling this yet. But I'm going to hold on. I'm going to pump the brakes. I'm going to give it a chance. See who else they got coming. But this week alone, you have added the likes of Penta, Seth Rollins, and now Andrade. Okay, my interest is starting to peak again. And then Monday night on Raw, the final men's qualifying match. Listen to this lineup. El Grande Americano, AJ Styles, CM Punk. Dude.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who comes out of that. Whoever it is, add it to who we already have. That men's Money in the Bank ladder match, that's got potential. So, but Punk, AJ, and El Grande Americano. Oh, my God. Oh. Are you not thinking about CM Punk and AJ Styles in a ring together?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, man. So.
And I'll tell you one thing for sure. Seth freaking Rollins will not like it if CM Punk gets in there.
Oh,
because if Punk gets in there, you got a major foil now that can actually derail Seth Rollins' plans for the Money in the Bank. Like, he would literally be an albatross for Seth freaking Rollins. Rollins will not like the fact if Punk is in there.
Positively. So, but right around that 4 to 4.25 threshold, I could have given it 4.5, but we did have some chicanery at the end. But it's still 4 to 4.25. It's still the fight of the night, and a surprise outcome. Good for Andrade to get that. That's awesome. So easily his signature win since coming back. So field is setting up, and Monday night we're going to add either Punk, AJ, or Americano to that. Man, that's going to be something. 4 and a quarter fight of the night. MF, your thoughts?
Yeah, 4 and a quarter fight of the night, no doubt about it. And yeah, really nothing more to say. You pretty much summed it up, Anthony. And now the main event segment was Cody Rhodes cutting a promo, was interrupted by Jey Uso, which caught everybody by surprise. And yeah, that started in Knoxville, only to be interrupted by the WWE champion John Cena and also Logan Paul made his way out. So we had ourselves we had a lot going on there, Anthony Florio. So it's yours.
The final segment on tonight's show featured Cody Rhodes and WWE Champion John Cena meeting face to face. But before Cena came out, Cody had a little time with the crowd. Rhodes brought out World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso, which sent us into the final commercial break of the night. When we returned, Cena came out and ripped into both men for wanting to be like him. Cena brought out Logan Paul and put him over on the mic. After a bunch of trash talk, Cena and Paul looked like they were going to have a disagreement before it broke down into a huge brawl with all 4 men. The babyfaces beat up the heels to send the crowd home happy. This was definitely longer than it needed to be, but it was fine for what it was. And teasing tension between John Cena and Logan Paul means one of them will probably leave the other high and dry during the tag match. I'm already going on the record. I think Cody and Jey are going to win the match. And
I probably say Cena's the one that leaves Logan high and dry.
I could see it.
Yeah.
And then maybe we could set up Cody and Cena too. Cody Cena too, perhaps maybe SummerSlam, maybe. I mean,
yeah, possible.
I think that's where it's heading. That's just my thought. So, like I said, it was longer than it needed to be, but it was fine for what it was. So, not much more to say. MF, your thoughts?
Yeah, total agreement with everything you said, Anthony. It was solid for what it was worth. Yeah, I'll give this about. It was a solid segment and a great way to close the show. So, overall, I thought it was a solid SmackDown. I thought they did a really good job with it. I thought, to me, honestly, I could give this about maybe 7.5, 8 out of 10. I thought that tonight's show breezed through without much harm. So yeah, no harm, no foul in my humble opinion. I thought they did an incredible job, and Anthony, it is all yours.
Tonight's SmackDown was a somewhat lackluster show as a whole, but it had one standout match and a few notable storyline developments. The fight of the night was easily the triple threat with Carmelo Hayes, Jacob Fatu, and Andrade. They had plenty of time to work and made it the most exciting thing we saw all night. Andrade and Naomi won spots in the men's and women's Money in the Bank ladder matches, but the biggest development might have been the growing friction between United States Heavyweight Champion Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa reaching a boiling point. It looks like Fatu's patience has run out, so one more incident will likely be the last straw. Javon Evans and Rey Fenix versus Los Garzas was a close second for fight of the night. The show ended with John Cena, Logan Paul, Cody Rhodes, and Jey Uso hyping their Money in the Bank tag team match in a promo segment that felt too long even by WWE standards. You wouldn't really miss much if you skipped this week's show, but it had a couple of bright spots worth checking out. So I'm with you. That's about 7.5 to 8 out of 10. And get used to the 3-hour shows, folks. They're not going anywhere. They're sticking around, folks. So
yeah.
This was supposedly tonight was originally going to be the last 3-hour show, and next week they were going to go back to 2. But the higher ups at the USA Network they've been pleased by the 3-hour show, so it's sticking around for, as they're saying, quote unquote, the foreseeable future. Yeah,
I mean, are we? I know a lot of people were like, 3 hours though,
Yeah.
A lot of people was asking, can't they do it like what Netflix does it, like 2.5 hours? Maybe that can be the benchmark. But the thing is that when you talk about network TV, you always know it's all about advertising, and that's really the main factor of it more than anything else. So, I mean, to try to stretch out a 3-hour show, it's really difficult, but it is what it is. So they did really well. I thought they did a fine job this week. And yeah, we move on to next weekend. That will be Ridiculously Raw on Tuesday night when we do NXT and Monday Night Raw again. And that's when we come back. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're done for the night. Like I said, Tuesday will be that show. Then I want to say Thursday will be the night that will cover everything. So we'll preview the TNA show. We'll preview the Worlds Collide. We'll preview that show too. And then we'll also be previewing the Stanley Cup final and the NBA finals. We'll be huh?
We got a crossover here.
We do indeed have a crossover because we don't really have much content to go in. We have a big wrestling weekend. I don't want to impede on putting too much on the shows. So we'll do it. We'll do it all on Thursday. We'll do the NBA finals. We'll do first we're going to do the Stanley Cup final because that starts first.
Yes.
That's going to start on Wednesday night. Wednesday night will be the start of the Cup final. Thursday will be the start of the NBA finals. And then obviously we'll do our wrestling. Anthony will do it. And then 1 week from tonight, we'll do our traditional. We'll do the TNA recap. We'll do the Monday night, the Smackdown live recap. And then I believe on Saturday, we'll recap the Worlds Collide and the Money in the Bank, I believe.
Yes.
We'll do that on Saturday. So, yeah. So, we got ourselves a busy weekend, folks. So, get ready. And until then, for Anthony Floyo and Michael Fletcher, have a good night, everybody.
Goodbye.